Welcome back to Shine's Good Fortune. We have a different kind of video today. This one is a story time video. I still pull cards, but I'm going to tell you why. But this is a story time video. And I did a video not too long ago called, Why Are We Under a Monetary System? That video was maybe 40 minutes long. I'm not quite sure. But I had a viewer say that she enjoyed my longer videos and probably enjoyed me doing different types of videos. So I do want to incorporate different types of videos onto this channel. And I thought this would be a perfect story time. Also, I am a little bit under the weather, so excuse my voice. And like I said, I just uploaded another video. And like I said, in that video, the next pick a card reading I do, I'm going to try to be on camera. Right now I am sick and under the weather, so it's just easier for me to do this. But I'm going to try to get back on camera. And so, yeah, so as the title, let's get to it. My job was robbed and I was protected by spirit. So this is story time. So before I get into the actual story, I asked spirit, were they trying to communicate with me during this time and trying to protect me from the robbery? And I pulled the Hermit and the Eight of Wands, Broken Heart, and Seven of Wands, and that's a yes. Okay, so with the Hermit, this talks about spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual. This is a spiritual card, basically. This is the spiritual realm, going into meditation. And this is the Eight of Wands. It deals with multiple things, but it deals with urgent messages and communication. You see that? Urgent. This definitely deals with urgent communication. It deals with travel, but it deals with urgent communication. Okay, this is what this card means. And the Seven of Wands deals with, it means multiple things. It can mean on the defense, but you see he's trying to protect what he has. They're saying that basically they were trying to communicate, the spiritual realm was communicating to me. They were trying to let me know what was about to happen. Their purpose was to protect me with the Seven of Wands. You see how he has that one in his hand and he's trying to protect? Because they said they were trying to protect me because it was going to end in heartbreak for me. Something bad was going to happen. I was going to end up being sad. This was going to be in bad for me. Okay? So, let me get into the story. Give me 1 second. This happened around 2019, 2018. Not that long ago. So during this time, I'm from Chicago. I had moved back to Chicago to take care of my father. Mind you, I'm not the oldest, and I have other siblings, but that's a whole nother story. I have brothers, and they're narcissists. I'm just going to tell you that. So, and I'm the youngest, so I went back to take care of my father. I took care of him. I moved in with my father to take care of him. And I was taking care of him for just me by myself. I was taking care of him for over 2 years, actually. He got prostate cancer. He had surgery to remove the cancer, and it didn't. He still had cancer after that, after they did the surgery. So he decided to go through radiation. So I would take him back and forth to his radiation appointments, and that was 5 days a week. And I would cook his meals. He still could cook though, but I would wash his clothes. I would do everything. And once again, I have siblings. I just want to remind you all this. And so I did everything for my father. I loved my father very much. He did pass away. But during this time, I was taking care of him. And also, I had to work because, yeah. So at the time, it was interesting. So in Chicago, you can have a casino. And how basically how I can explain is that if you open up a business in Chicago, you have 5 slot machines. And by the way, I don't live in Chicago anymore, so that's why I don't mind saying Chicago. So if you open up a business in Chicago and you have 5 slot machines, it's considered a casino. I think that's the best way to say it. This establishment was a casino, but it only had 5 slot machines. Okay, I know that sounds weird. So during this time I was taking care of my father, I would drive past this establishment, and I'm not going to say the name of it, but it ended in lounge. So we just going to call it the lounge. But that wasn't a complete name. And the lounge, basically, it wasn't open yet. It kept saying, that it was going to open I forgot when I started working that job because I didn't work there yet. I did not work there a long time, but the sign was up saying it was going to open soon, basically. So I don't know how long they were working on the company or whatever, but it kept saying it was going to open soon. So I ended up going online applying for jobs on Indeed, and I ended up applying. I don't know if I saw that. I think they had a now hiring sign up there. I think that's what it was. Yeah. So they had a sign that said they were opening soon, that they were hiring. So I think what I did, I went online or something. I applied. That's basically what happened. I applied. And it wasn't too far from my home. It was maybe about 30. Chicago's pretty congested, so it wasn't that far from where I live, but it still was maybe 30 minutes, maybe 25, 30 minutes, but it was a straight shot. Meaning I didn't have to, it was just straight down one street. I turned down the main street and I could just take it all the way down. So I applied. I went for the interview, met the lady in person, whatever. So I didn't last very long with this job. So how it was, there was 5 slot machines, ATM machine, and it was in a shopping complex. So it was the lounge. That's what I'm going to call it, the lounge. And then next door to it was a store that was vacant. So it was a vacant store, and then next to that was a insurance company. I ended up befriending a young lady that worked at the insurance company. She actually tried to get me at the insurance company. I interviewed with the general manager and I didn't get a job, but because I was trying to get my real estate license at the same time. There was a lot of stuff going on. I was taking care of my father. I went back to real estate school, and it was just a lot of stuff going on. So I think I ended up telling them during the interview I was going to school. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but anyway, she took my resume and gave it to the general manager, and I had an interview like the next day. So when people look out for you, they can get you, you can't get your foot in the door if a person really cares about you and really want to help propel you, So I didn't get the job, but still the fact that she put in a word for me, that was very sweet of her. So anyway, those were like, I think it was another business in that shopping complex, or however you want to say it, but I'm not quite sure. I just know it was the lounge, a vacant store right next to it, and then it was the insurance company. And then next to the insurance company, if you walk over, it was a gas station. So once again, I got the job. I started working there. So how it was, 5 slot machines, ATM machine. It wasn't very big at all. You had the front door, the back door, like a little sitting area, the restrooms, like the back kitchen area, and that was it. It was very small, you all, very small. And also at the time, it had just opened up. We did not have any cameras. We had cameras, but we did not have a security alarm. They hadn't put it in yet, so we did not have a security alarm, but we did have cameras. And the owner would tap into the camera sometime and watch us. And that's pretty much it as far as the setup, how it was set up. And it will be only one person on a shift at a time. We did not have a security guard. It would just be one person. And then I was working the night shift. I know we closed around midnight. We closed either at 11:30 or midnight. And mind you, then after that I had to clean up and count the register down and lock up and do all that. So my father said to me, he said, why you have to get that kind of job? He said, why you can't get a regular job, a morning job? Why are you working an evening job? I said, well, Dad, this is the only thing that's available. It's very hard to find jobs in Chicago. Mind you all, I have a bachelor's degree. Okay. I'm saying this because I've been to school. I've done everything they said to do. I've done everything by the so-called book, and I've had a lot of problems. Okay. I just have so many things against me for some reason. So it's not like I didn't do things, quote unquote, by the book and go to school. And I still, with a bachelor's degree in Chicago, I still wasn't able to find a decent job. And this job wasn't even paying a lot. I was paying very little. And the area was so-so. And it was just ridiculous, but I didn't have a choice. And I was taking care of my father, and I still needed money coming in. So we're only one person on duty. So when I come in, the morning person leaves and I take their place. So it was a young lady that was working there. I don't know why she didn't like me, you all. I could just tell she didn't like me. I'm a very nice, sweet person, but some people just don't like me just from looking at me. They just don't like me for some reason. So I came in one day, every time I would come in, and she'll work the morning shift and I work the evening. We'd, trade off. I said, oh, how was your day? And she just said, it's okay. But I could just tell she didn't like me. So as I continue, what I want to say when it comes to spirit, they try to protect you. The more you open up your intuition, try to connect to them, the better they can communicate with you. And also they come to you in different ways. So if they want to get a message to you, they will put thoughts in your head, just like bad entities can put thoughts in your head. Your spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, they can put thoughts in your head too, to warn you, to help you, to get you to think about things. And also they can give you messages through other people. So I'm going to tell you how this went, what they did to me. So one day I was talking to the young lady who I could tell didn't like me, my coworker. And I said, because this little casino was very small. I said, someone wanted to harm us or do anything. I said, one could stand at the front door and one could stand at the back door. I said, we wouldn't have any place to run. And I said, then we don't have a security alarm right now. And she looked at me and she said, well, let's not think like that. Let's think positive. And let me say something, side note, what pisses me off as a spiritual person, I noticed that whenever you talk about problems in this world, whenever you address certain issues, people accuse you of being negative. Just like when I made that video about why we under monetary system, I'm pretty sure somebody thought I was being negative. No, I'm not being negative. Okay. What I'm being is a person that sees a problem that's looking for a solution. So don't ever allow someone to make you feel like you are negative because you see a problem and you are being vocal about it. Okay. Like, this is how they try to make you feel on this planet. When you talk about the injustice in this world, when you talk about how we're being treated on this planet, how they're going up on a cost of living, how people are harming one another, and how they're getting over on the mass population, I'm being negative, see? And just like with her, when she tried to shoot down me, trying to tell her like something, like I'm feeling something's not right here, and I'm warning you too, but she wouldn't listen to me because she didn't like me for whatever reason, and I was being negative because I simply said someone can stand at the front door, someone can stand at the back door, we won't have nowhere to run. Mind you, we're women, okay? There's no security guard here. We don't have a security alarm. They hadn't installed it yet because they literally just opened this business up. I only worked there for maybe the most 3 weeks, maybe a month, and people were quitting like almost every 2 days. People were quitting, and I was doing double shifts because people would quit and wouldn't come in. It was just a mess. I literally think I only worked there for a month. It was that bad, and I kept getting spirit, I think, implanted that thought in my head because I just started. I don't know where the thought came from. I just told her. I said, if someone wants to harm us or to do something, someone can stand at the front door, another person can stand at the back door, and we wouldn't have anywhere to run. And then she just looked at me and just said, well, let's not think like that. And I get what she was saying, but I'm saying this for a reason. Spirit was talking to me, letting me know that somebody was watching us. That's what they were trying to let me know. See, this is communicated. They were trying to let me know that somebody was watching us. And mind you, this business just opened up. And somebody was already watching that business. They already was, because they knew we had an ATM machine, and slot machines means money, right? So give me a second. So bear with me. So that was the first sign I got. When you start getting thoughts of caution, just like if you're dating someone, you meet someone. See, a lot of times, I just want to say real quickly, we want things to be okay. We want to have a great life. We want everything to be fine. And yeah, but we're on, allegedly, this is called planet Earth. And you see the kind of world we live in, okay? So spirit, everything's not going to be roses and ice cream, okay? So spirit, when they're coming to you and they're giving you these thoughts, it's to help you and warn you. So if you meet someone you like, I know you want things to work with him. I know you want things to work with her. They look good. You want everything to be okay. But if you start sensing something's not right with this person, you need to pay attention to your intuition, because it's trying to tell you, I know you want things to work out, but unfortunately, there's some bad people out here, and Spirit's trying to protect you from these people. So just because you're getting these so-called thoughts that you don't want to acknowledge, they're there for a reason, to help you stay out of danger. So that's the first way they came to me. They put this thought in my head that someone could be watching us. One person could stand. I remember saying someone could stand at the front door, someone could stand at the back door. I felt this feeling of being trapped, like they were trying to trap us in there or something. And she didn't want to listen to me. So anywho, then one day there was a lady that came in. Mind you, like I said, we closed at like 11:30 or midnight, and I was the only one on that shift. And I was dating a guy at the time, and he worked a 9-to-5 job. Sometimes after work, he would come up to and we just don't call it the lounge, we would call it the casino. He would come up there. Sometimes he would actually come in and sit in there with me and leave, wait outside while I clean up and leave. And sometimes he wouldn't. So a lot of times I was there by myself. Well, I was on shift by myself, but meaning no one wasn't up there that I knew. And we did close rather late. So right before closing, a lady had came in. She wanted to play at one of the slot machines. She came in and she played. And then as she was leaving out, she said, bye, have a good night. And she looked at me and she said, be careful. And she just, it was different when she said, how she said it. She said, be careful. And she just stared at me. She held my eye contact longer than normal. Like most people, when they leave, they would tell me, oh, bye, be safe. Now, she wasn't the only person that told me to be safe. Now, mind you, my father did not want me working there. He did not like the hours. He said, I don't like that you're working the night shift and you're closing. He told me that. So that was the first warning. I got a second warning through my mind. My thoughts were telling me someone may stand at the back door. Someone may stand at the front door. They may try to trap you guys in here. Someone's watching you. And I came to a female coworker and told her that. Mind you, only one male worked there. And it didn't really matter if it was 100 men that worked there because everyone was on shift by themselves. We just saw each other when we, switched shifts or whatever. When we relieved one another is when I seen my other coworkers. After that, I was there by myself. It wasn't much overlapping. But we only had one male that worked there. Actually, all the other people that worked there were females. And we didn't have a security guard. And once again, the security alarm wasn't implemented or they hadn't had it up and running by that time because they just opened up. So I did have a couple people, that would come in and say, oh, be careful. But it wasn't, they wouldn't just, oh, be careful like that. Just say a good night, be careful. That's something that most people would just say to one another. That's natural. People at my job, we said it to one another. But this one time when she came in, and she played and she was done. And as she was leaving now, I think I was about to clean up. And she was the last person to play on the slot machine. And when she said, okay, have a good night. Bye. And she looked at me and she said, be careful. It's the way she said it. She said, be careful. She had a look of concern on her face and she just kind of stared at me. She held my eye contact. This wasn't normal. Most people just say, be careful and just kind of they wouldn't hold my eye contact. She said, be careful. And she just looked at me. She held my eye contact longer than normal. And I looked at her. I said, okay, I will. And she just looked at me and she walked out. I never saw her again. And that was the second warning. I already knew. Something didn't feel right. Once again, this woman comes in, plays. This was my first time seeing her. And the way she said it to me, you all see, this is how spirit works. They work through other people. And this is what I want to say. They work through other people. A person will say something to you that's been on your mind for a while. You're like, I was thinking about doing that. And they literally they can manipulate other people. Bad entities can do it and good entities can do it, you all. They can work through other people. And I feel they was working through her. This woman didn't even know me. So it was no reason for her to care about me. Not trying to be mean when I say that, like she shouldn't care about me, but I didn't know this woman. And for her to say, be careful, why does she feel I need to be careful? Careful about what? I really feel, and now granted, common sense, I'm in Chicago, I'm on shift by myself. Everyone that came in there kind of knew this is kind of dangerous because it's, this is a lounge. It's 5 slot machines, ATM machine. I'm a young lady there by myself. I mean, it's kind of common sense, but at the same time, most people didn't have that extreme fear for me, like, oh, something's going to happen. So when she was leaving out, she said, be careful. And she stared at me and she held my eye contact and I held her eye contact. We held each other's eye contact and I said, okay, I will. And she walked out. I just knew. It's like spirit was talking through her, trying to tell me it's time. Look, guys, they were trying to tell me. Okay. So I'm going to say, after that lady held my eye contact and said to me, be careful, in a very serious way, in a very concerned look on her face. And after those thoughts were coming to me about someone standing at the front door, standing at the back door, all this stuff was happening. And a lot of people were quitting too. I said, it's time to go. So I ended up quitting. After she said that to me, I'm going to say I quit maybe a week later. I wasn't at the job very long, you all. Mind you, they just opened it up. Like, they just opened up the business, you all. It's just crazy. So I quit maybe 4 days after she said that to me, or a week later. And then I get a text message from a coworker, actually the male coworker. I only had one male coworker. And he texts me. He said, "Oh, how you doing?" I said, "I'm fine." He says, "Yeah, the lounge was robbed. It was broken into." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, it was broken into. It got robbed." And then I end up texting the young lady at the insurance company that worked in that shopping complex, however you want to call it. Me and her was okay. And I said, "Did you know the lounge got broken into?" She said, "Yeah." She says, "Your manager came, well, your ex-manager came over here and asked me, had I seen any suspicious behavior, anybody walking around?" Excuse me. She said she hadn't seen anything. I said, "Okay." So he didn't give me many details. What he told me was, now remember I told you guys in the beginning of this video that this was in a shopping complex. It was the lounge. It was a empty store next to us, and then next to that was the insurance company. The next insurance company was a little bit further down, was a gas station. So next to us was a empty shopping store. It was a vacant store right next to us. It was connected. All the stores, like, it was only a wall that separated them. What these people did, I don't know how many it was, probably was more than one person. They broke into the vacant store next to us. So they broke into the vacant store next to us. They drilled a hole in the wall, climbed through the wall. They drilled a hole in the wall, because the lounge and that vacant store shared a wall. So follow me, they broke into the vacant store. They drilled a hole in the wall. They climbed into the hole. I don't know how big the hole was. And then they tried to break into the ATM machine. Now, I didn't work there anymore. That's the only thing the guy told me. They tried to break into the ATM machine. I don't know if they were successful. They probably was. But, they're not going to tell us everything, because they're not going to tell him everything. But they tried to break into it. I don't know if they were successful or not, because I no longer work there anymore. So, hold on, let me continue. So then they tried to break into it. I was concerned that maybe they thought I had something to do with it, because I literally had just quit. I quit literally maybe a week or a couple days before they broke into the lounge. So I really was worried. They never called me, asked me anything. I was really worried that they thought I had something to do with it. And Lord knows I didn't. My intuition told me to get the hell up out of there. And it literally happened a couple days or a week after I left. It happened very soon after I left. And I was really worried they thought I had something to do with it. And they didn't contact me or anything. And they had cameras, okay? So they could see the people coming in there and breaking in and everything. But it was just eerie. And now let's go through something really quick, you all. This lounge, this casino, was only open the most a month. Shoot, they broke into that place maybe 3 weeks after it opened up. I was working there between 3 weeks to a month. So it wasn't open very long. So what does that tell you all? They have been watching us from the beginning. They have been watching that place for a while, because some people started coming in there and they said, "Oh, we've been waiting for this lounge to open up for a while. We've been seeing the signs up." So people in the neighborhood have been waiting for it to open up. They knew it was going to be a little casino. So I'm gonna use a word called casing the joint. This may not be proper English, but in my neighborhood they called it casing the joint. Casing the joint is when you find a mark. A mark is something if you want to steal something from someone, however you want to say it, and you watch the place. You watch the people that are coming in and out, and you go in there and you see I guess when you're trying to rob a place, you gotta go in there. You gotta see the placement and everything. They call it casing the joint. So basically, I feel they were so-called casing the joint, casing the lounge. Basically, what they were doing, they knew when we opened up, they was watching us from the beginning. They probably knew everyone's shift. They probably knew who was there when they was there. They knew who was leaving when they were leaving. You can't tell me. We all know they came in there and played casino. You all know they came in there, play casino. Excuse me. It's not playing casino or whatever. We all know they came into the casino and played on one of the slot machines while we were on shift, because they can't get in there unless we're there. So I'm pretty sure it was days I was there that The people who robbed the place came in, played at the slot machine, went to the restroom, seen the layout of the casino to know what they were going to do to rob the place. Let's be honest, because how did they know to break into there and come in there? They came in there to see the layout. So I'm pretty sure they came there to see the layout, to see basically how it was set up. They was watching when we were leaving, when we were coming, our shifts, everything. This is very disturbing to know. I was working there on shift by myself, closing by myself, there alone, and that somebody was watching me the whole time, you all. And that's why Spirit was telling me that someone can stand at the back door and the front door. I kept getting that somebody can stand at the front door and back door. You can't run. I just kept getting that. You won't be able to, you will be trapped. And they're saying this would have ended in great sadness for me. They probably, mind you, it's mostly women on shifts. Like we were on shift by ourselves, and it would be women. Mind you, I'm pretty sure they broke in during the nighttime. The person on first shift probably wasn't going to be at risk as much. It was that person on night shift, I was one of the people that worked night shift, that was going to be at risk. Because that would be, let's be honest, that'd be the perfect time to rob the place. The person who at night, it's less people out, it's less activity. Okay? So Spirit was warning me the whole time to get out of there. And so from the moment they opened that lounge, that casino up, the moment they opened it up, these people who was going to rob it was watching the whole time. I'm sure they knew the hours we were. They knew what time the lounge opened. They knew what time it closed. They knew probably who was on shift. They knew it was only one person on shift, each shift. They knew the layout of the lounge because let's be honest, they came in and they played the slot machines to see the layout. And it's eerie to know that someone came in there and played the slot machines while I was there by myself, and the whole time they were basically trying to look at the layout so they can rob the place. It's just disgusting. And so Spirit is here to help you all. Your intuition is there for a reason. You get a funny feeling about someone you're trying to date, or a place you work at, or a location you're going to. Listen to that. And they also come to you through other people. And they would do it in a way that would get your attention. Like that lady, the last straw was when she told me she said, be careful. And when she looked at me and held my eye contact, and the look that she gave me, I already knew it was time to go. I was already getting these thoughts of someone, trapping us in here, and we wouldn't have no place to run. And then here this woman, and she wasn't the only person that would tell me be careful, but everybody was just saying as common sense. Like, oh, you here by yourself, it's late at night, and that's just natural to tell people to be careful. But the way she said it to me, and the manner that she said it to me, and how she held my eye contact, and how she said it with the seriousness, no one else had said that to me in that way. And stared at me and held my eye contact so that I could get what she was trying. They were working through her to let me know something was coming. They were letting me know something was coming. And I don't know if they had planned on, doing it while I was there, and then they could have, AR'd one of us, sexually assaulted one of the women there, and then made us, because think about it, if they do it while one of us there, they may figure that we had keys or had access to the ATM machine and told us, okay, open up the ATM machine, do this, do that, or help us get access to whatever, and then assault us. I don't know how far this is going to go, but they're saying had I stayed, they were trying to protect me, and they were saying had I stayed, it was going to end in heartbreak for me. Okay. And I'm just telling you all, as a cautious tale, whether you're male or female, to be very cautious and listen to your intuition, and just to know those thoughts. If you have thoughts of someone's, around you that's not right, or you get a weird feeling, that's letting you know this situation is not right for you. Okay. And Spirit comes to you through other people as well. Okay. This person will say something to you that you're like, why did they say that? Or where's this coming from? And they're doing it in a way to get your attention where you're like, wait a minute. Let's just say you've been thinking about buying something or moving or doing something. Somebody mentions it, and just out of nowhere, you're like, this is odd. This was on my mind the last couple of days. This person just brought this up again. I'm telling you, they talk through other people, and they get other people to say things to you to warn you, because they're not in the physical. They can't physically stand in front of you and stop this. So to get you out of harm's way, they come to you through your thoughts, your intuition, your gut feeling that you have, your intuition. You'll get certain thoughts telling you to leave or to not trust this person, or Like, maybe that was one of their plans, to stand at the front door, stand at the back door, and trap us, because I kept thinking someone could stand at the back door and the front door, and we won't have nowhere to run. That's why I told her. And then they'll give you thoughts and like that to caution you, and all this is to protect you. You also listen to so this video just letting you know, listen to your intuition, okay? Heed warnings. Your spirits aren't here physically. They can't physically be down here to help you. So they're doing it through your intuition, through your thoughts, and through other people, okay? And I'm just glad I got out of there. I got out of there right before they robbed the place, like a couple days or a week before. And it was just, I got out of there in the nick of time. And had I still worked there, you know, because obviously they robbed it while no one was there. But my intuitions tell me, had I still been there, because I worked the night shift, they might have did it while I was there and had me open up to do something and maybe attack me, because the fact they wanted me to get out of there tells me that these individuals might have had deeper plans. And I think they might have tried to do something to me and do it at night, because and then I would have, you know, they could have maybe forced me to open up the register or whatever, and they could have got money like that. And so Spirit really wanted me out of there, because these individuals had some plans. They've been watching that place since it opened up, and they robbed this place. And this place was only open for at the most a month. It was open for at the most a month. Between 3 weeks to a month, they robbed it. Because I worked there between 3 weeks to a month. And they had already robbed it. Had already been watching it. So be careful out there, everyone. Listen to your intuition, and know that your guides are there. Just open up to them and let them talk to you. Have a good night.